easy way to get into ballerina, this routine is for you. Show you a really easy way to get into the ballerina pose, which is something that I've struggled with, you too, right?
Yeah.
We've been struggling with, so it's really nice to have this little cheat.
Yeah, because you don't have to do that swing, you know, if you're not used to doing the swinging entry into that ballerina pose, then this one allows you to do that without having to do all of that.
Yeah. Not saying you shouldn't work your ballerina, but in the meantime, this is a great alternative.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, if you're new to our channel, welcome. On this channel, we post all things aerial across our apparatuses, hammock, hoop, silk, and pole. So if you practice any of these apparatuses, especially at home, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you have access to all these resources for your training at home.
Yes, and if you have somebody that you train with, if you have an aerial bestie, invite them to as well so that you can both have access to these resources and we can continue growing together as a community.
Of course, before we practice, it's always important to make sure we're safe. So we're going to do a quick safety check. Make sure that you check your equipment. First of all, make sure everything is okay, the rigging and all of that. Make sure that you have a crash mat. Don't practice without a crash mat under any circumstances. I know we're always sharing our stories of how we really, if we didn't have a crash mat, how we would be injured. But it happens often. It's so important for you to have a crash mat. It just happened to me earlier today. You never know. So make sure you have that. Make sure that you warm up well and cool down well before and after you practice aerial. If you're looking for ideas for warm-ups, you can find a playlist which we'll leave right up here, which has warm-ups, a general warm-up and also like specific pole warm-ups. We do recommend for this routine to warm up your shoulders really well, do some shoulder rotations, stuff like that, because to get into these poses does require a bit of shoulder rotation. We want to make sure you don't get injured. Make sure that you're wearing the right clothes, of course, for a pole that's very little. Make sure that you have grip or whatever you need if you need to reinforce that. And of course, make sure that you have your spotting buddy. Make sure you have someone to practice with who can be your GPS in the air, cheer for you when you're not getting something, and if something happens, they're there to help you out or call someone.
Yes, and you can opt for this music synced up to this video, but we do release a video on Friday, which will be synced up to this, the music, and we also release a short that you can find a link to right up here. Both of them will be synced up to the music so that you can see how this routine is supposed to move together with the music, especially like the floor work part of that. And so that you know exactly when to get started, we will leave the link to the song that we use along with the timing with which we get started down in the description below. Now we also always post our routines to Instagram. If you want to check it out on our Instagram accounts, you're welcome to hop on there and check it out there. We also leave other content on our Instagram, like we do different pose tutorials that are more than what you get to see here on YouTube. So you are welcome to check out our Instagram accounts, and we also have links to those for Hi friends, so Taylor is here to break down this routine for you today. And what are you doing? You're the robot? Oh, okay. She's being the robot today. So Taylor, thank you for being robot, and get ready because this routine starts with some floor work. With this floor work, you are standing a little bit behind the pole and your legs is they are a little bit more than a hip distance apart, and your head is looking down to the floor. And when the routine starts, you extend your hand and look up and look to the side and get into a side lunge. From here, you raise your head up and then you come down into a squat and you rest your hand on your legs. In this pose, you're going to roll your head 1.5 times, and when you're rolling, also be sure to include your chest and your upper body. Here, you're going to reach your left hand to hold onto the pole and extend your right hand forward while you wave your left leg forward and then backwards. And you stand, yes, with your kind of a lunge, like a high lunge. And then you bring your right hand, the back of your right hand to the pole, and you swing the pole around your body. Yes, and this makes sure that when it comes to the front of you, your palm is holding onto the pole. You get into a forearm grip and you bring your left hand to the pole to get ready to do the first spin. So you start with your leg in front of the pole and you swing it backwards, but make sure it remains in front of the pole because you're going to want to fold over. You have to do a little pull up here. So Taylor will show us how to do it now. So you swing and you pull up and you fold over, bending one of your legs and holding your legs together before you start extending them to slowly come down, landing on your outside leg. So the thing with this is that you're going to come down and land on that outside leg, and you won't stop spinning. You're going to continue by swinging that inside leg backwards to continue this spin. So Taylor, you can continue with the spin, and then you're going to lift leg and push them backwards before you come to your first climb. So from your first climb, you're going to do 2 climbs up. So Taylor will do 2 climbs without spin. 1 and a second one. You're using your forearm climb here, and then you will bring the pole to under your inside arm before you will straddle and hook the arch of your foot on the pole. Release your outside hand and bring it to the pole. Find the pole and bend that free leg backwards and bend your leg backwards. Here you're going to spin for a bit before you bring that bottom arm back to the pole. Release your leg and come to a sit. Okay, but we will do this part low so that we can make sure that we cover all the bases before Taylor does it up high. We're going to start is Taylor will go into a snake. So she's like a sit, and her outside hand holds high, and she brings that inside hand and threads it between her body and the pole, and she goes her body goes in front of the pole. Okay. And you will see that the pole is more like towards the center of her back, so that she can then bring that inside hand and hold on to the pole and pull her body close to it before adjusting the grip of her outside hand to more of a flamenco grip. This allows her to be able to enter that ballerina pose. So for the ballerina pose, she's going to have to bend that inside leg and bring the outside leg behind the pole. She's going to show us how to get into this pose up high. So she starts from there and she gets into a sit, and then she brings her inside hand between her body and the pole, and she holds the inside hand, the pole right above her head, and she pulls her head closer to the pole to adjust that outside hand. Then she releases her hand and adjusts her legs. So her inside leg folds and the outside leg comes behind the pole into this ballerina pose that looks really pretty when you are spinning on the pole. From here, you just bring your hand back to the pole and you release your upper body from in front, and you are able to come out and unmount the pole. That's it, guys. Thank you, Taylor, for doing this breakdown for us.
people that you think would enjoy it as well. And of course, remember, if you haven't subscribed